Hello everyone. My name is Medley, and today I'll be talking about compartment complex, media archaeology, and the materiality of analog video. So first I'd like to show you a video of the results of my creation, my research creation. So this shows me playing with my installation. And in essence, it's a stack of 11 CRT televisions on which a video game is played. So using a small controller with a classic arcade joystick, the player takes control of a bizarre avatar as they navigate between the installation screens. Each monitor represents an individual room in a gloomy, monochromatic apartment complex populated by unsettling denizens. So the player explores each room, collecting and exchanging items with the denizens who will respond with cryptic and poetic dialogue. The players are left to piece together the events of their perplexing experience, constructing their own narrative. So here we have the overall installation. I'm just going to fast forward here so we can see what it looks like on screen. I'll fast forward again. So here are a couple pictures of my installation. So the flickering effect that you saw on the video is due to the scan lines of the CRTs, and that's just an effect of trying to record them with a camera. So the title compartment complex is a play on words of compartmentalizing and apartment complex. So it represents the compartmentalizations of certain aspects of my life. So my goal with this installation was to find a way to preserve the past, both in terms of media history as well as my own personal past. A lot of my motivation comes from a place of nostalgia. So I feel like preserving these objects will somehow help me vicariously preserve certain parts of my own life. However, the main obstacle to preserving media history is the effect of obsolescence. With the rapid progress of digital media, old media falls increasingly behind, forgotten and no longer supported. So old memories are being locked away, and mountains of obsolete junk is getting shipped off to countries who can't afford to refuse it. So we can subvert this obsolescence by finding new ways to interact and experience media history, perpetuating its relevance. So my research takes a media archaeological approach to these notions. So what is media archaeology? Well, essentially, it's the practice of excavating old devices from past media culture as a way to investigate our contemporary media culture. Foucault refers to it as a methodology for excavating conditions of existence. Jussi Parikka's work has been instrumental in my research, and you'll see that I quote his book, What is Media Archaeology, regularly during this presentation. So my research has three main tenets which are of particular interest to media archaeology. So first there's materiality, obsolescence, and subversion. So first, let's have a look at materiality. So media archaeology tends to focus on specific devices and apparatuses, and a lot of it consists of tinkering with old tech to create novel experiences. So take the wobulator, for instance. It invites viewers to mess around with certain parameters in order to produce effects derived from analog media. So with this, you can directly interact with media culture, or media history, rather. Video games, for their part, are not only a major facet of media history, but also have a fundamental interactive component, making them great tools for experiencing materiality. As such, Compartment Complex, my installation, uses video games as a way to interact with the materiality of CRT televisions. So my next tenet is obsolescence. So it's a little bit like the disintegration of old archives from silverfish infestations. However, tech enterprises have exacerbated this erosion by artificially speeding up the flow of obsolescence, making it increasingly hard for us to experience our past media culture, see planned obsolescence. So old game cassettes and VHS tapes are bleeding out of readability, along with a portion of our media culture. Thus, subverting the flow of obsolescence by reusing junk tech like CRT monitors acts a little bit like a political statement, countering capitalist and consumerist norms. So finally, there's subversion. This practice is common within avant-garde art. So take junk art, Dadaism, Nouveau Realism, all that stuff from the 60s was trying to make their own point about capitalism and industry, and they wanted to move away from the commodification of their art. So found objects, junk, and performance became increasingly popular methods for subverting institutional norms. Now in parallel, video games are typically seen as commodities distributed at a global scale. And I subvert this issue by creating an installation that cannot be commodified. So in addition to being composed of a mountain of obsolete junk, the game itself, the software, can only be fully experienced in person with the complete installation. It cannot be distributed online for a wide audience, since much of the experience relies on hardware and materiality. So, in one fell swoop, my installation manages to subvert both video game industry norms, as well as the issue of obsolescence. Any questions?